Hello, everyone. Today we're taking a look at the Wandering Whoop. This is a whoop and a bunch of parts furnished by tinywhoop that goes around from creator to creator. And I've had it way longer than I was supposed to. So apologies to all those that might come after me. If there's a channel that you would like to see do another whoop, let me know. I think according to the package that I found in here, I am pilot number 4, if you can see that through there. So that means that it would been to 3 other pilots. I think Infinity Loops and Quad 66 who sent it to me. So definitely check out Quad 66's channel and what he did with this. And there's probably at least one other channel out there that I'm just not aware of. But you could also just type Wandering Whoop, and hopefully everybody's had that in their YouTube video title to find what others have done with this and what others might do with it a little bit later on. So let's look at the parts that were sent along with this real quick, and then we'll go towards flight. First thing I need to cover is I changed the motors out to 36,000 kV, which are these Firefly motors. They're 0702s. It came with 32,000 kV from Quad 66. First thing I want to touch on before we really get too deep into this is this canopy. If it's been used for the other pilots, it does a bang up job of protecting the camera. Pretty much all I did with this was to change out the motors, and then I cranked up the camera angle. It does only have 2 spots on the camera angle, but like I said, it's got to have been through a number of different crashes, having been with other pilots. So that's what we'll be flying when we come to that part of the video. Got some googly eyes, but this really stood out. Look at the camera angle on this canopy, or camera holder, whatever you want to call it. What is that, 80? It's 80 degrees. Someone's doing some serious fast flying. ORT antennas, of course, from tinywhoop.com. All of these things. ORT antennas are some of my favorite antennas. Super light, high quality antennas. This camera I'm not familiar with. It's got a really small PCB here on the back side. I'm wondering, I just don't know what camera that is. So it's got to be available on the tinywhoop website, and I'm sure somebody off the top of the head could tell me. Then we've got this little protector. I think this is from Ciotti FPV. You put this over your flight controller, and these little bits up here keep the camera from banging into the flight controller when you have it mounted more over the flight controller. Probably not with this camera holder, but with others. That would come in handy for some folks. Then, of course, we have some LED lights. I don't tend to get into adding weight with LED lights, but could be a fun thing. The big ones are going to stick out. This does have an LED light on it. Let's go ahead and plug a battery in it. I was kind of impressed with this. You can see it's a 90 degree, or is that almost 180 degree sort of adapter that we've got on this, not 90. But it's got a red and a blue light here on the back, and those are relatively bright. I think that, at a tiny weight addition, that would be kind of a fun thing and make it easier to find if you're doing some parking or some flying inside. The darker the area, the more it will work out for you, like a parking garage or inside with whoop rates. That I liked that because it's handy, it's useful because it makes the battery connector a lot easier to just plug into your battery, as well as having some fun little lights. As I mentioned, these were the motors that I went with, and then we can see the various other motors that are available. And it was sent in this Wandering Whoop box. See, it says you have 2 weeks. I know I've had this way longer than 2 weeks. My apologies to all those that have been waiting around on this. I guess maybe I wasn't the best choice to send this to. We've got a lot of stickers on here, and I believe those stickers, you could get those maybe individually on the website, or you can go to fpvoutreach.com. They also have weekly stickers they send out, and there was an optional frame down in here. That makes me think that's an older beta FPV frame, I think. And there's really tiny googly eyes on the front of that frame. I almost forgot, but B7000 seems to be what they recommend for your whoop repairs and whoop usage. So if you're looking for some glue or adhesive medium viscosity to try out, tinywhoop.com, B7000. As we start this off, I didn't even retune it. I thought Quad 66 did a good job, enough for me, at least on this 36,000, where I didn't retune it. You saw a little bit of that air mode bounce as we take off. Probably needed to turn down the master multiplier just a touch, and we also have those lines across the front. That actually goes away during this flight, and I did not see that on a whole bunch of flights. Now, I'm sticking to the outside flight because inside, I really didn't see that there was anything that you could take from the inside flight, because once you get past the higher KV which makes your throttle position a little bit lower from your normal flying position on the throttle. You kind of just fly it like you would normally, and I don't have the flight skills inside to take advantage of that 36,000 kV. So I thought we would see it more in the outside, especially when I'm doing these punches up around the chimney and various other spots. That was something that I thought it actually could show you where you get that extra kV. You know, as the kV goes up, you get more prop rotation, and the thrust continues to build as you get at the top of the throttle. So it does come at the expense of a little flight time and battery, but I thought for something 36,000 kV and not the absolute lightest whoop in the world, that it actually did pretty good as far as the flight time goes. I think we get like 240 on the flight outside, which with all these punches at 100% throttle, I thought it did pretty well. So to my surprise, it wasn't, you know, a minute 40, which for years past with high kV motors, not even this high, we might see, you know, a flight time under 2 minutes. Especially our battery technology has gotten a little bit better in the single cell sort of flight, but I just thought that this was probably going to show you more about what you get with the extra kV than the inside flight, because you just kind of get used to the new throttle position when you're flying. And obviously I wanged right into that pole, and that kind of proves some durability of things there. I don't know if the camera took a direct hit or not, but I sure seem to what's it called when you get fixated on something and you hit it, like if there's a police car out somewhere and it has its lights on, you get fixated on those lights and then you hit it. There's a term for that, but it's escaping me right in the moment. But the flight's going to end here in just a minute. As I said, we get I think I was wrong here. We're only going to get about 230. I thought it was 240. Watched too many different flight videos, and I did fly it a touch low, maybe 5 or 6 seconds tops. But that's 36,000 kV on the Wandering Whoop. So that's really all I have to share for you. Again, all this stuff came from tinywhoop.com, so it's more of a promo sort of video than it is a traditional review, but it is always kind of fun to tinker with stuff. I really, you know, as I kind of already said, I thought this little adapter that they have here in the back to get our battery connection facing the right way so we don't have to bend it over. You do have to solder those things on. It might come with a pigtail, but if you're looking for that, as well as anything else you've seen, tinywhoop.com. The stickers, as I mentioned previously, I think that comes from FPVOutreach.com, and that redirects you or takes you right to their Patreon site. So if you sign up for that, you get a weekly shipment of stickers. That's where some of the stickers that many of you have received from me when you've won giveaways come from, as well as just pilfering other stickers that come through boxes and whatnot that get shipped here. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, if you know of anyone who creates micro or whoop sort of content and you would like to have them take a look at this, please let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Hello, everyone. Today we're taking a look at the Wandering Whoop.